Threats, corporate social responsibility. The statutory corporate social responsibility norms introduced in 2014 were expected to revolutionize funding of social causes, but some sections of India Inc. may now be abusing the same. While acknowledging the potential benefits that Section 135 can usher in strengthening the relationship between business and society in India, there are some issues and challenges that will come up during implementation of the new CSR rules, which will have to be addressed through the setting up of appropriate mechanisms. The challenges: whether too much funds will be generated under the new CSR rules, leading to challenges for companies to identify appropriate projects on a sustained basis, could put a strain on the company's management to search for, select and implement additional projects, monitor its own ongoing CSR activities, all of which will cumulatively build up over time both in terms of scale and scope. Spending of such large amounts may require large companies to have dedicated centers that identify, implement and monitor large-scale projects or a large number of smaller projects. Though India is one of the few countries to have made CSR as mandatory for certain levels of corporates, there is lack of public policies to promote CSR. If a company is obligated to spend a certain amount on CSR, it writes out a check in favor of a trust that works in education, healthcare, environment protection, or any of the activities specified by the government. The trust, after deducting its commission, discreetly returns the money in cash to the officials or promoters, instantly turning white money into black. At the end of the year, the trust gives a report to the company, which it duly incorporates in its CSR reporting form called AOC4. Though the financials are part of the director's report, which is audited by external auditors, the AOC4 itself is not subject to external audit. It is a lacuna. Some companies are using charitable trust or registered societies to fabricate CSR spending and for laundering this money.
We've been following developments in CSR in India since 2013, when the passage of the Companies Act mandated expenditures on CSR. Under the Act, a class of companies with high revenues are required to spend at least 2% of their 3-year annual average net profits on CSR activities. The Act took effect in April 2014. Initial reports earlier this year were that many companies were filing explanations of why they could not comply, rather than certifying compliance. One of the principal stumbling blocks was an ambiguous definition of what qualified as CSR activities. In June, the Corporate Affairs Ministry set up a committee to study this and other implementation problems, and to make recommendations for changes in the law.
Children of the street, rock, rock, rock.
rock.